Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Just when you think that Undisputed is almost over the line with a bow sort of neatly on top of it, some drama ensues. It is the heavyweight division, it is Undisputed, it's never easy, there's always going to be one more twist in the tail. So you've got Oleksandr Usyk's promoter, Alexander Krassyuk. He is accusing Tyson Fury of doing everything he can not to make the fight, and that they've called his bluff and that they believe he will find a way out. Whereas Tyson Fury, on the other hand, is saying, look, you don't need a rematch, we don't need a rematch. No rematch, so we'll start there. Here's the Tyson Fury clip.
Hi, Tyson Fury here. Just a quick one. I've been speaking to the lawyers today, and Usyk's people are talking about rematch clauses and all that bollocks. Here's one to up the antes. How about there is no rematch clause for both of us? Let's up the antes completely. Never worry about what's in the future and how many more dollars you can get after you've been defeated. Worry about the fight. April 29th, no rematch clause. The winner takes the glory. The loser goes home with his hand. How about that? Agree to that, you
So Alexander Krassyuk of K2, who represents Oleksandr Usyk, says, I don't believe anyone will fight. Even if we accept this now, he will still try to find a way out. His credibility is already shot to pieces. I'm really sorry for fighting fans. It's a shame for a fighter to act like that. It's not about money, it's about fear. I don't feel this fight will happen on April 29th, which is roughly about 6 weeks away. Boxing Scene reporting Krassyuk is also saying, as Usyk said, the greedy belly is still hoping to find a way to pull out. We knew before and know it now. As soon as Usyk accepts a no rematch clause, they will still be searching for another thing to find and pull out of the fight. I tell you why. He bluffed and Usyk called his bluff. This is 100%. He didn't expect Usyk to accept 70-30. And that was TalkSport, which he was saying these comments to. He continues, it's all about nothing. He's not prepared and scared to fight. He will try to find a way to avoid Usyk for as long as possible. We don't trust him. We don't believe him. I don't believe anyone will fight. Even if you accept this now, he will still try to find a way out. But Frank Warren, one of the promoters for Tyson Fury, is trying to pour cold water over those sorts of suggestions, saying both boxers have agreed to a split and it'll be on. It's just a matter of contracts, but they're not going to be a problem. I know we'll get this on. From Tyson's perspective, he's just putting it out there and putting it on the table, asking why Usyk wants a rematch. If he was going to avoid the fight, he'd just say, I'm WBC champion, you get on with your lives, I'll get on with mine. To say Tyson would avoid any fight, this is the guy that went to Germany to fight Vladimir Klitschko, who at the time was the best heavyweight of his generation, had no problem going over there and actually won the fight. This is the guy that went off to the United States not once but 3 times to fight the hardest puncher in the heavyweight division. Please, the one thing about Tyson is that he's got balls, just massive balls. There's no problem with him doing the fight. Secondly, he trains religiously every day. He's as fit as a butcher's dog. You've only got to look at him, see recent photos of him, and you can see how fit he is. He's ready to go. And just going back to that original post from Tyson Fury, so he also said, talk about upping the stakes, and this is saying no rematch needed for the loser. Usyk 17 Promotions, which is the promotional company of Usyk, he says, greedy belly, be a man and sign contract, which Tyson Fury responded, no rematches when I smash this bum, he is out in the cold with his pal AJ. Belt this, and then a whole bunch of laughing, crying emojis. So Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk, the drama continues. Remember, towards the end of last year, they were saying this was an easy fight to make. Usyk didn't have any promotional ties with Matchroom anymore. He was free to go off, and it looked like this could get made and we'd have the undisputed fight. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but obviously one day we're hearing that they've agreed terms and that they're just going to be signing the contracts, and they'll inform the WBA, which had said to them, look, if you don't get a deal done, we're ordering Usyk to face Daniel Dubois as is mandatory. So now we have Tyson Fury saying no rematch. You've got Usyk's camp saying, look, they just keep moving the goalpost, and Tyson Fury doesn't want to fight. He's trying to find a way out. Either they effectively lied to the WBA, or as Frank Warren is sort of indicating that he's saying it's not a problem, but he's sort of said this fight, the best part of 4 months ago, whatever it was, would not be an issue to make, that it was an easy fight to make. Bob Arum had echoed those sentiments. So either they were finessing the WBA and there was a lot more work to do, and I'd mentioned that in a previous video, that could be an option, or this is some big pantomime trying to drum up interest for the fight, remembering they're only going to have about 6 weeks or so until the fight happens. And when you sort of take a step back and go, the first undisputed fight in a generation and potentially just 6 weeks of build-up, doesn't seem quite right. Maybe Oleksandr Usyk and his team have finally realized this isn't going to happen on the date that they're saying it's going to happen. Maybe it's going to happen later in the year. Maybe it's a case April 29 will come and go and it'll be June or something like that. But it does feel like an incredibly short build-up for a fight that would be a once-in-a-generation type fight. We haven't seen it in over 20 years. So, I mean, you have to start asking those questions. Is there some fire to go along with the smoke that Oleksandr Usyk's promoter, Alexander Krassyuk, is claiming is there? Or is this just a case, it's promotional sort of pre-announcement type stuff to get people talking, to get people either casting Usyk as the villain or Fury as the villain? Because people on different sides of, the support divide will basically, generally, fall on one side or the other, who they want to win and who they support and who they believe. So, I mean, there's a few things going on, but, obviously it's boxing. It's never easy, and Undisputed is, it's a barrel of laughs sometimes. So we'll see what happens with this, but I mean, it would be a massive disappointment if this all fell over, and especially if it wasn't a case of just moving it, that it just, for whatever reason, doesn't happen at all. In terms of the rematch, actually, I would prefer that there is no rematch, just personally. There are far too many rematches, and what if it is the case that one guy wins comprehensively? You kind of don't really want to see a rematch that would be in a contract. And as it is, it could be a case that after Undisputed, the sanctioning bodies are going to go their own way and say, look, we gave you the leeway to make the fight. No more. We're ordering these fights, this belt to be fought for, and if you're not going to defend it, well, we're going to make sure that you vacate it and it will be up for grabs. And certainly there is a lot of expectation that at least one or more of the belts could end up in that situation. And I think there's different promoters, say Matchroom, are looking to position Filip Hrgović in a title shot that they would end up sort of promoting and showing. So yeah, I mean, there's more water to go under the bridge, and the so-called easy fight to make is obviously slipping further into March without contracts being signed. Is it truly going to get made, officially get made with just over a month's notice until the actual fight date? Yeah. Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.